So it looks like we're at 4 o'clock. So thank you for taking the time to join Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom tonight as we look at our resources that pertain to beef cattle, specifically as a little bit of a forecast for National Beef Month happening in May. If you're hitting the replay later because you weren't able to get on in time tonight, at any point, always feel free to reach out to me and I will be more than willing to connect you to resources or lessons at any point. So we will go ahead and get started. I didn't actually mean share, I meant present. Share on the other screen. There we go. So as it pulls that up, so like I said, we're going to be looking at our lesson plans as they pertain specifically to beef, but many other resources that are offered by Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom as well. And at any point that people have ideas to share or suggestions, go ahead and pop those in the chat so we can share and learn from each other as well. So the vision of Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom is agriculture is valued by all. And I can't stress that enough as we look at food insecurities during this time of the pandemic, or we look at the fact that we're coming into spring season and we need some of these resources to make our baseballs or softballs, our ball gloves, some of those other pastime things that we also enjoy. And it is my goal to be able to help each and every one of you increase ag literacy through K-12 education and beyond. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Sarah Kuschel, a regional curriculum specialist in northern Minnesota. My husband and I live in Cass County and are third generation beef ranchers. So I'm really excited to share with you some of my own personal knowledge and my passion for raising beef. We also have 3 children who play an integral role on our family's ranch each and every day as well. Like I said, May is National Beef Month. And so we wanted to kind of do this as a kickoff to that. So if you want to collect up some of the needed items for the activities or those kinds of things, you had a little bit of time to prepare. That's also where I can come in if you're looking for something specific for your classroom or need help finding resources. I would love to help you do that. So I grabbed one of my favorites for each grade level to share. You can find all of these resources on the Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom website. So as you can see, we have things broke down by grade levels, kind of focusing on meat or milk, beef or dairy. So kind of the compare and contrast of those 2 sectors of Minnesota agriculture where, yes, they're all cattle, but are definitely used for different things. And that's a K2 lesson there. Then there's the Build a Calf workshop, which is a 3-5 lesson and focuses on genetics. There's actually a picture there in that cowhide rug of my kids playing that game as an activity last spring when they were sent home from school. And I was really surprised that my kids actually represent 3 of the 4 grade groups here. And all 3 of them really enjoyed that lesson and it gave us some good conversation pieces. And so then you also see a picture of 3 of my calves that coincidentally really fit the bill of looking at genetics and how some have black hides or red hides, white faces, and those kinds of things. So just that real world connection again. And then the Remarkable Ruminant for our middle school group. And I've even stretched that into the 9-12 bracket in the past. And just looking at how that multi-compartment stomach works for a lot of our livestock. And then the carbon hoof prints of cows and climate change. So something that we're always looking at there. And there's additional lessons for all of these grade levels that pertain to beef. A couple of these were specifically highlighted in the past couple of weeks on the Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom Facebook page as well, if you've looked at them there, or another place you can go back and review them. So like I said, if there's anything that you want to take a look at there, I'll share this PowerPoint out as well. So then you'll have these live links to these direct lessons for those of you who are on the call as well. So a great place to explore our resources, like I said, is our website, which is minnesota.agclassroom.org. And we have our curriculum matrix there that has over 500 free lesson plans. And with those lesson plans come a lot of companion resources and book recommendations that will go along with those. And then I also would encourage you to check out the Ag Mags and beef. So our new Ag Mag website, you can go search for a specific commodity and it will bring that up. So this link would take you right to the beef section of that. And that has a lot of really great resources. You can subscribe to our Ag Mags on that website. And there's also a digital option for our Ag Mags there. So during this time, we obviously had to figure out ways to do distance learning and some hybrid learning. And so this was actually a picture that my husband took a long time ago when we were presenting a lot. People ask questions, and we laugh now on how fast technology changes, as nobody uses a traditional laptop hardly. Flip phones are kind of a thing of the past. But in our life, we still fall back to those good traditions of taking care of our cattle from horseback. And so as we all navigate these different learning situations and avenues, Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom is here to really help you find those resources that fit the need of you and your students at any given time. And we've also taken some things that can be done in print in your classroom and then made supporting documents for those who are having to do distance or hybrid learning, but could all be doing the same thing. So one of those things that we did was create Hyperdocs. So we made a Hyperdoc for the Build a Calf lesson plan you can see here that really kind of helps you learn some of those different terms as you're looking at genetics and passing on traits. And again, we'll just work you through the same lesson plan and steps as if you were in person so that all of your students can again be using these resources. We also have done a lot with our field trip experiences. Hopefully you were able to hop on earlier today and tour Mathewitz family farm with us and learn about planting corn and soybeans in Minnesota. That was a pretty cool opportunity. If you didn't, again, I would encourage you to subscribe and follow us on our social media platforms, as our past virtual field trips are all housed on our YouTube channel. So you can use those again at a later date. And then if you're looking for supporting lesson plans, reach out to anyone on our staff and we would help get you the ones that pertain to that specific field trip. Our next field trip is happening in May, on May 26th. So you want to make sure you get registered for that. There's options for in-person learners, distance learners, or just individuals to view that. Our classrooms participate through Zoom typically. Others can join on YouTube, and then again, afterwards, the recording will be housed on YouTube to be used down the road. So the Brennys are beef farmers down by Mazeppa, Minnesota, so southeast part of the state, and raise Angus and Charolais cattle, and will be sharing their farm and experiences with us there. So a perfect opportunity to join this field trip and then be able to use our lesson plans to enhance that experience for your students, or send something home for them to take and share the experience with their families. And then if you really enjoy that and are having a blast with our virtual field trip experiences, I also want to make sure to mention that Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom has just launched a new initiative called Farm Camp Minnesota, offering these kinds of immersive experiences customized for your individual classroom. And so at the end, I'll have contact information for our director, Ann Vogt. If that is something that would interest you, we are already scheduling and booking those for next fall. And we would love to get you in contact with a farmer, rancher, agribusiness, whatever it may be, to help grow and enhance those classroom experiences again, and allow your students to ask those personal questions to those involved in Minnesota agriculture. So like I said, we do a lot with customized experiences because we realize that each and every classroom and school district is different and has different needs. Much like Minnesota agriculture is very diverse and has different offerings, we want to be able to bring you the best experience for your students, yourself, and maybe it's your whole staff. So we will look at workshops district-wide, School-wide, if you're divided buildings, we can do those virtual and are just starting to kind of touch back on doing some in person. And so that can definitely be visited about on a case-by-case basis there. All of our lessons are standard-based. They're tailored for your classroom. Your regional curriculum specialist emails out updates. So you want to make sure that you get on our email list so you're not missing any of those great opportunities that are coming out. And then, like I said, Farm Camp and the Ag Mags as well. We also just launched the registration for our Summer Teacher Tour series, which will be happening throughout June and July, in which you can get continuing education credits for those experiences. And I would highly encourage you to sign up sooner rather than later, as those tour spots filled up extremely fast last summer. This year, we're going to be looking at wheat from farm to plate, agriculture, local to global. So that is something that's really cool and often not talked about with students, I feel like, as much. So unique opportunity there. I actually was able to join on a virtual field trip a few weeks ago with some global agriculture students, and it was really neat to learn about what they do in their country and the favorite things that they had already adapted here in Minnesota. And then we're going to be going to the Soda Growing Food Pod and looking at growing kale hydroponically. And our final tour is a soil fuels success at Pontwith Farm. And each will have a little bit different flavor, and we'll again be providing the tour lessons and all of those great things. So make sure to check that information out on our website, or again, connect with any of our staff for questions there. And then it's always a great opportunity to just say thank you to those who help sponsor Minnesota agriculture in the classroom and ensure that our resources remain free for our educators to use. So a quick little shout out to the Minnesota Beef Council, being this lesson or workshop all is looking at beef. I also had the opportunity to host them along with my family. They came and did a little spotlight on us as beef producers. And so I'm just going to take a minute and share that video experience with you to give you a little look at a Minnesota ranch.
Being a ranch mom is by far my favorite job. I think we're extremely fortunate that every day we get to get up and work together.
We use technology on the farm in a variety of ways, from computerized record keeping to herd health tracking. We also employ a lot of time-honored traditions, specifically using horses for a lot of our day-to-day activities.
I really enjoy riding horse because that's one of the things that my great-grandpa always loved doing, and he actually helped teach me how to ride horse.
I'm proud to be a beef rancher because it's a great lifestyle. It's a great place to raise a family, and there's nothing better than knowing that all of the long days that we put in to raise the cattle and care for them is providing consumers, along with our family, a very nutritious and wholesome product to use.
We get a lot of help in times of need with a lot of our ranch families, we like to call them. They're doctors, lawyers, attorneys, nurses, and they show up from around the area to come and help us during our busiest times of year.
We have a lot of fun together, and we work really hard together, and I hope they can appreciate the importance of that.
My favorite part of living on the ranch is doctoring cattle with my dad. Well, it's just fun to chase down calves and they'll go climb down and give me sauce, you know?
Some of the lessons that I've learned from the kids as they grow older is how fast time flies and really how short a window we have to pass on a legacy.
Well, I like playing softball with my sisters. I like volleyball. I was a pro at it, but no longer. I'm out of practice. Just how many miles home do you think? Yeah, I'll just go with 3, 5. I don't know.
Whoa, I don't know why it won't let me get back out of here now. Any of you who have to do Zoom way more than me know how to get back out of this video on my Google presentation? Wow.
If you try the escape key doesn't work, I'm not sure.
Wow. Hey, it did. I just wasn't being quite patient enough. Imagine that. Oh, but I don't want it to play again. So maybe I will just stop screen share and get off of the slide and come back to it. I think is going to be the quickest, safest bet. So like I said, I just really wanted to share a quick moment to highlight what our family does each and every day, in addition to me being a curriculum specialist with Minnesota Agriculture in the classroom, as we truly do enjoy to do the work we do together, and can now take that and I can even better share that with students across the state. So one of the other things that we always want to know is how can we help you? Like what resources are you looking for in your classroom or activities? Yesterday was a really exciting day for me, as right now it's been really hard to connect with teachers because you're all tired of being on a computer screen, and I can't say that I blame you at all. But one of our champion teachers that has done a lot with Minnesota Agriculture in the classroom, Amy Maston, who teaches up in Collier, and helped start the Collier Cattle Company with her students, just happened to be at our local sale barn marketing their steers that they have raised for class. And so that was really cool to see that on their Facebook page and be able to follow along in that journey with them. So I always love to hear what you and your students are doing, and don't think that it's not ever worth sending that email to share, as that was a huge highlight for me yesterday of, yes, somebody's still doing our things and sharing their good work and inspiring these students, which are future consumers, leaders, and more, to be really well-rounded individuals. And I just find a lot of value in that. So again, if there's things that we can do to help or that you have questions on, pop those in the chat and we can circle back to them here as we move on. Well, and so now that I'm sharing this, it won't let me advance. I don't know what happened to my presentation. It's just really not working. I mean, thanks for letting me experience what you guys put up with every day in your classrooms, as I can clunkily try to finish this up. And for some reason, it is literally making me go slide by slide back into there. So I don't know what is going on over here. That's how it goes. Now we'll see if it works this time. So here's contact information for the rest of our staff who, much like me, all of us really look forward to connecting with you if somebody's closer to you than I am, but also know that in this time of virtual learning and sharing, any of us are willing to help out. So I'm primarily in northern Minnesota, which is a very large land mass. And then Tony Dewalter is in central Minnesota, and Ann Vogt, like I mentioned, is our farm camp director. So if you're looking for one of those fully immersive experiences, make sure that you jot down her contact information so you can get in touch with her. And then the last piece, if it won't let me advance, I'm just going to tell it to you instead, is to just remind you to follow our social media networks on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you're getting all of these notifications of the great things that are happening. I'm going to see if it will let me. Now it's giving me all my controls. Seriously, Zoom is not being my friend today. I'm just going to pop here quick. Are you all still seeing my screen? I hope.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay, good. So this is just our website, as I mentioned, minnesota.agclassroom.org. And this is where you would go into our educator center here, which has our virtual field trip series, the distance learning resources, your curriculum matrix, which is where those over 500 lessons are housed. And then in here, you can create a My Binder, which I would highly recommend doing. So instead of having your next stack, like this to pile on your desk or a big binder for your shelf, you can actually save your favorite lessons right into this digital binder so that every time you want a lesson, you don't have to go search through all of them. But it's also super easy. You just go here and you can type beef and it will search all and brings you up all of the lessons that pertain to beef. This is another one of my favorites right here, A Tale of Two Burgers, Beef and Plant-Based Protein. So this is another K-12 lesson. And then again, you can save it into your binder. You can print it. It kind of walks you through the purpose, how much time you need to complete it. Oh, sorry, my mouse is going crazy. Really walks you through the procedures, gives you some, good fun facts to share. Like May 28th is National Hamburger Day. Always a favorite day at our house to grill hamburgers and kind of share a little bit about what we do. Just like this time of year, I love to share the connections of beef cattle to baseball because I love baseball and has been a huge part of my family growing up. And then you'll have all your links to your essential files that you need as well, the PowerPoint, printable documents. And this is where if you're looking for like, oh, I really wish something was a Hyperdoc. I know all of you are capable of making a Hyperdoc, but we all appreciate what you do to lead the students in your classrooms. So that's where you could reach back out to us and say, hey, could you create this or do you already have one? And we would be more than willing to help out with that. As well, there's a school garden guide for those of you who maybe have school gardens, a good video library that connects to some other video tours that have been done in the past. And then I want to make sure I highlight the summer teacher tour spot here, which is going to bring you up to that and be able to tell you a little more about those tours. And then you just scroll down and that's going to give you your option to register. The tours are $15 and you can, well, actually, sorry, I will correct that. They're different depending on when they are, on what they cost, but they're fairly inexpensive. You do get those CEUs for each of the tours and you can register for one or all, however it fits into your schedule. And we try to have it wrap up in just 2.5 hours in the mornings, noting that the wheat from field to fork actually has an evening portion where there is a chef coming in to do a virtual culinary experience with that tour as well. So really excited for that. And then we also, like I said, have different partners that we work with too, like the Minnesota Beef Council. Another resource that I like to use a lot for beef is My American Farm. Through the American Farm Bureau Foundation. So this is really great website. Again, divides everything out for you. And some of these are also downloadable apps if your students have one-on-one iPads or those kinds of devices. These are also games that I love to encourage if parents are looking for games for their children to play as an opportunity to be learning some of these great egg literacy skills at the same time. So we are officially going to stop screen sharing and we're going to go back and look, so Maria was asking, are the tours online or in person? They are going to remain online this year just because we really felt like we were kind of at a, I don't know, a pivoting point of where some things are getting to go back in person, some things are still virtual. We had such a great experience last year with our virtual tours and could truly take you to things like an active logging site that I couldn't necessarily take a bus full of teachers to, that we're going to go with virtual this summer just to guarantee that they can all happen instead of, yep, we're doing it, people got hotel rooms and now, oh, we can't because numbers are back on the climb. So they will be virtual this year. So great question. Thanks for asking on that. Does anybody have any other questions or ideas to share at this point, or things that I can do to help support you would also be a piece of information.
This is Anne Marie. I just wanted to go back on the question list, and Maria, there she asked about suggestions of putting lessons in order if she wanted to do a weekly beef lesson. So Sarah can definitely help you with that, Maria. And that's a great, I love that lesson planning.
What she's really trying to say is she'd just like her sister to help her with her job. Just kidding. But that is a really good idea of kind of working through some of that chronological piece. Whether you're looking at the genetics of maybe what to expect, there's an elementary lesson on beef basics that really, you know, goes back to talking about a cow, a bull, steer, heifer, calf, all of those kinds of things to work in the terminology. And depending on where you teach, those might even be things that we need to be visiting about with our high school students to really kick off a beef lesson or unit per se. And then, like I said, looking at those genetic pieces, you can work through all of these things. There's actually a lesson that talks about the cuts of beef, which to me is super cool to look at because, like I said, food kind of connects all of us. So being able to make those really educated choices as we're sending them, you know, into the grocery stores as consumers down the road, to know that if they're trying to make a hot dish, they might want to be purchasing ground beef in comparison to buying a round steak that you're going to have to, you know, do extra processing before you could put it in your hot dish. So there really is a lot of lessons. So if somebody's looking for that, would love to chat with you personally and help you kind of navigate that as well. And that would also be another piece that if you're looking at doing this with, I'm just going to pick on Maria because I know her the best. Say you want to do this with your animal science class and you wanted to be able to see some cattle live. Like I said, I raise beef cattle. We could go out into a pasture and I could join you from out there and we could talk about the things that we were seeing, whether it was the feed that they're eating or noticing that I have cattle that are black, I have cattle that are red. Why do some have white faces? Why are some solid colored? Why do I have 3 that are white? So just, again, really being able to customize those experiences. Our team at Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom has been able to develop a network with producers all across the state that serve different sectors of beef production as well, whether it's the cow-calf person to our feedlot, or maybe we want to go tour a butcher shop. I think that would be super fascinating. I know that isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I really love to follow the process from, you know, farm to table, or however you'd like to title that. So really, really great idea. Other questions, thoughts, or needed resources? We've got about 1 minute left. And I don't want to hold you past that, but also know that I am willing to stay on longer and chat with anybody who has other questions. If any of you are looking for fun ideas from a high school perspective, as you can see, my daughter actually is on here with us, and I told her she could get put on the spot if anybody had questions or making the connection to how it could work for high schoolers or partnering with FFA or 4-H leaders and some of our youth organizations as well, as we're looking ahead to our county fairs and some of those things that these same resources could be taken to and shared with attendees. So again, just to make sure that you have them, I'll pop in the chat here our website of Minnesota Ag Classroom.org. And then if you want to do the teacher tours, that registration is there. Tiffany, great suggestion. The local cattlemen associations, awesome resources there for people that mentorships, tours, class visits as they're able. I also would say working with your local county farm bureaus are another really great resource that can make some good connections for you as well. Let's see, which other sites do we need? And Vote is our director. Yeah. Minnesota. And my email is really easy. It's just sarah@minnesotaegintheclassroom.org. Feel free to shoot me an email at any time. And I would be more than happy to try help make connections for you or customize those experiences for your classroom. So with that, thank you all very much for joining us. And if there's anything else I can do to help you out, please let me know.